What if Sword and Shield never goes up? My name is Packaday and I want to think about Pokemon in the context of my own collection. I'm trying to organize and sort my ideas, and I'm recording this video so that I can try and figure out how I feel about investing in this space. And I also want to know what you think, you, the listener. Let's just say my wife and family are very tolerant. They like to hear me passionate about things, but they're a little bit tired of hearing about the intricacies of Pokemon investing and the Pokemon market and the exciting new ways that we have to buy and sell Pokemon, and also the insanity as well. So I'm taking to online to see if I can find you, the watcher, and see if you are interested, and I want to hear your thoughts on what I have to say as well. I just want some dialogue and some conversation. It doesn't necessarily need to be always rah-rah positive and upbeat, but I'm just tired of people whinging as well. Like, I took to Reddit and gosh, there's a lot of people doomsdayers complaining about this, that, and whatever. The market is absolutely cooked at the moment, but let's take a step back. Let's not talk about the ridiculous and dire state of the market, and let's talk about the actual product, what we like as an actual collector, and also the opportunities that are there to leverage and change what we have to get other things that we want. You know, collecting. You don't have to just collect the things that come to you. You can also seek them out. You can do a little bit of business to buy and sell things or hold things in order to have different values, so you can trade or sell or do all the different ways that you can mess with Pokemon product to end up with what you want. Or you can just rip and end up with what you want. I guess that's a thing as well. But that's Gamba. We're not about Gamba. We're about investing. What if Sword and Shield never pumps? I drank the Kool-Aid. When I got back into Pokemon in the last couple of years, I had fair availability of the Scarlet and Violet product. I went fairly heavy on obtaining some sealed from Scarlet and Violet. It wasn't that crazy to begin with. It was only around, well, just after Surging Sparks, everything went bonkers. Many people, in my opinion, got back into it because 151 looked fun. I know it wasn't popular at the time, but 151 is a good set. Everyone wanted that set. Then you couldn't get that set, so we all bought Sparks, and then out of nowhere, they just dropped a Prismatic Bombshell and everything went fucking nuts. The whole time that was going on, I really just wanted a Fusion Strike box because I thought it was beautiful. At the end of the day, these are collectibles I wanted to collect. I wanted to hold some sealed collectibles because if you keep the value, if you hold on to sealed most of the time, and I thought that I might be able to either hold it, look at it, enjoy it, and then sell it if I wanted to later on, or no, that was it really. I just wanted to sell it, ideally at a profit and ideally not at a loss. I just wanted a Fusion Strike booster box, and they were like 600 USD at the time, and I thought that's absurd. I'm not paying that. I'm going to buy some Scarlet and Violet, hold on to it instead. Then Scarlet and Violet started to go a little bit crazy, and I thought I actually have some opportunities to buy, sell, rip packs. I haven't done any crazy grading plays or anything of significance yet, but I was able to work within the market, not scalping. I was able to work within the market, hold what I wanted to hold, sell what I wanted to sell. I had some vintage cards as well, some of which I'm going to hold on to forever, some of which I was happy to let go or change around or trade with people to get a trade that I felt like was in my favor. I was able to do buy, sell, leverage trade, etc. And I was able to start to get what I wanted. And what I wanted at the time was Sword and Shield. About a year into holding some Sword and Shield booster boxes, and it's not cases or anything, and I completely missed Evolving Sky as I wish, but I started to get most of what I wanted. I never got that Fusion Strike though, because the price just kept going up, up and away, as you'll see in a second. I really wanted a Charizard UPC, and that was a big pickup for me. I wanted that sealed bad boy. It's such a cool set. Along the way, people started to get really excited about Sword and Shield. So I discovered that Pokemon YouTube existed, and there was lots of people out there talking about this hobby in different ways. Some of it gelled with me, a lot of it didn't. But something that I did like, and there was some really earnest and, to me, felt like really switched on and clever YouTubers that I still watch to this day, are very excited about Sword and Shield. They think it's going to pop off. I thought 2026 was going to be the year of Sword and Shield, and I reached that conclusion based a little bit on what they said, but what they said made sense. There was some Charizard sets, there was popular sets, there was iconic, beautiful artwork with some of the best art that I've ever seen in Pokemon is in the Sword and Shield era. I know they're not worth very much, but Galarian galleries and some of the trainer galleries are exquisite and so, so nice. And some of the art rares that were outdated by SIRs, I'm having a memory blank, oh my goodness. Alt arts are incredible, and the texturing, once if they're printed well, are really, really nice as well. I guess the trouble that we ran into is there were so many beautiful things going for the set, and then you start to think about the basics of investing in the market, which is just, you know, supply, demand, and popularity. could see Pokemon was pretty popular. We have these memories of those sets being really, really popular. There's no more supply. Demand's relatively high. Rip and shipping was just starting to take off and people were still opening these packs quite a bit. So it just felt like age plus Zard plus supply means that these products are going to rise. They're going to rise in uniform. And to be honest with you, they did go up a fair bit. So a lot of the Sword and Shield products did go up and have ended up in a spot that is, quite frankly, a little bit ridiculous and quite expensive. But then you look at the broader hobby, you look at the broader market, you look at the Scarlet and Violet boost, you look at the mega stuff, you look at Phantasmal Charizard going for what, absurd, $1,000 or whatever it is, 900 Aussie in a raw, so 700 in a raw for a set that just has a single Charizard in it. All that insanity has taken off. It's gone up, up and away, let alone Ascended Heroes, Prismatic to an extent, what happened with 151 as well. All these modern things have really chased and detached from the growth of Sword and Shield. It feels like there's almost like a cap, like there's a level on the top of Sword and Shield. So in November, December of last year, when the boffins were making good content and putting out things that made people who were quite interested in Sword and Shield feel pretty good, saying that 2026, I predict, will be the year of Sword and Shield, it kind of made sense. I don't think it was unreasonable. However, looking back, it's not been that year yet. I guess we're only 6 months into the year, but what if Sword and Shield never actually goes up? What if all these pumpers have been absolutely flat-footed by Scarlet and Violet popularity? What if we're wrong about supply? There's so many what ifs, and I wanted to try and organize my thoughts about it and hear what you thought as well. When it comes to supply, this is the number that people talk about a lot. Every year, Pokemon Company says we've released this number of printed this number of English Pokemon cards. They don't give product breakdowns, they don't say which sets, what eras they're from, they just say we printed this many. And they are printing at capacity. I didn't really believe that when they said it because it feels kind of ridiculous to have this level of scarcity, to have fights over product, and for them to be like, we're at capacity. But it does actually look like they are at capacity because they've had about 10 billion, with a B, cards printed for like the last 5 years or so, with like a little spike before that of about 11. When there's this much money on the table, they would print more if they could. I'm not saying that they're not thrilled by the scarcity, like Pokemon Company has a lot to answer for. However, it does feel like they're actually at capacity. But wait, did I just say 5 years? That's right. There was like 10 or 11 billion cards printed at the end of Sword and Shield. That means that this current crazy supply, like when you look at some of the new sets, and they're very available, it's just the demand's so high that it makes them feel like they're unavailable or they sell out quickly. But there is a metric shit ton of stock being sold of most of these sets. The end of Sword and Shield had that supply as well, and maybe I overlooked that. Maybe we all overlooked that and didn't quite realize how much Sword and Shield there is out there. And is that having an impact? Is the later reprints of Sword and Shield, is that still suppressing price to this day? It's interesting. When it comes to supply, the other thing that I think is a little bit interesting is just about Scarlet and Violet. Scarlet and Violet is absolutely booming. Scarlet and Violet was born in this modern era of insanity, of everyone going absolutely nuts for Pokemon and in so many different plays. You basically can't lose money with Pokemon unless you're opening the packs, which is the whole point of Pokemon, according to many people. It's the only way to actually obliterate your money. Oh, that and the gambling nonsense. Scarlet and Violet, very, very popular, rip and shipping. It's not a negative term, it's just a term. People like to open packs, and we're in this new era where there's online shopping. Online shopping is going to dominate the world. It seemed a bit naff, it seemed a bit ridiculous when they were talking about, not Taobao, but Taobao actually does have some online shopping. When they're talking about the different online shopping experiences that took over Asia, I used to sell products on Amazon, and Amazon themselves were like, live shipping is the future. eBay has always flagged, we're going to get into live shipping, live shopping in a big way. Then you have things like Whatnot coming along, and they're like, yeah, absolutely, collectibles are perfectly made for live shopping. And lo and behold, you look a couple of years in, it turns out that they were right. It turns out that it's really, really popular. People like to do TikTok online shop. People like to open packs. People like the instant experience. People like the community. This shouldn't be, I guess, crazy shocking because all of us tend, or all of us, it's a generalization, but most of us tend to consume a lot more social content than we say that we do, even though people aren't really on social media anymore. Most people are on Instagram or the TikTok, or YouTube is the number one viewed video platform on the planet. Like, this is television now. It's just people talking on YouTube and making good content as well, or just lowbrow content like this. So the supply of Scarlet and Violet has been absolutely obliterated by people opening packs. that's just the way the market is. That is fine. Like, it's kind of fun. If you like it, you like it. If you don't, you don't. You don't have to buy into it, but it does explain a lot of the market pressure is just the fact that people want to open packs. They want to open specific packs and open a lot of them. The reason why I'm warbling on so much about this is we're at a bit of a point now where there's just no packs to rip. There's perfect order, but in terms of packs that people actually want to rip, there's none. Like, they're getting through the Ascended Heroes, the 2.5. They're Phantasmal, people still can buy the packs, but they're quite expensive now. So you go back to Scarlet and Violet, and the more popular sets, the ones that people actually want to rip, they're already really, really expensive. Sword and Shield, for a long time, I thought was too expensive to rip. So yes, people were ripping things like Evolving Skies as a special event, but people weren't like doing a Brilliant Stars break because the demand wasn't quite there and the boxes are too expensive to justify it. But now there's Lost Origin breaks happening. So will this eat into it and actually push the price up as the sealed gets eliminated? As we delete sealed from the world, there is less supply, so the prices technically should go up. I thought Sword and Shield was actually a little bit immune to the ripple ship, but it might actually get a boost from it. Another product that I like to talk about, I don't know if other people care so much about it, but is of course the Ultra Premium Collection, which is currently going for what, 566 US dollars with one sale per day. That doesn't seem like very many. Oh no, there's heaps. Going for about 600 USD. This is an incredible product and one of my favorite. It has a bunch of your big hitting Sword and Shield packs, including the big hitting Sword and Shield packs, including Evolving Sky. It has a bunch of the big hitting Sword and Shield packs, including Evolving Skies. It also has these three promos, which are struck down by the fact that the print quality is absolute garbage. So you can't buy this and expect to 10 one of the three promos. You normally think a box with this number of packs and three promos, all they need to do is grade one of those three. Hopefully they're not all absolute dog shit. Well, guess what? The chance is they probably are printed terribly because the gem rate's like 20% or something ridiculous. Despite that, I think it's a really good investment piece. And it's yet another one. The price hasn't gone up that much. It's been relatively stagnant. So let's go back just to 6 months on price charting at least. 6 months, it was what, 380 US dollars, and now it's 560 US dollars. A year ago, it was 280, 313, and now it's 514. So it's gone up like 120 bucks in a year, which is great, but it's also been an extra year out of print with this level of insanity in the market, and it's only gone up 100 US dollars. Like, great, that's incredible. That's a 20% year on year, but it's still not that big. There are other products as well that I'm always interested in. The Sword and Shield base has like nothing good in it, and it has actually finally boomed a little bit. But if we go back a year, it was 435 or 554, and today you can get it for 570. So basically in a year, it hasn't gone up at all. And I know it's Sword and Shield base. I know there's no excitement there, but it was also the first of this new era that people really did like, at least the people that were in the hobby at the time like, maybe not by the new standards. There aren't 400 million people going crazy like Ascended Heroes. But it is a very, very popular era, and it is the base set. So I was a little bit surprised to see it be so flat. I guess it doesn't have any crazy hits in it, but again, it is the very first one. We look at something like Lost Origin, and if we go 1 year, 500 US dollars, 540, 800, and it's currently selling for 782. So over the course of a year, 540 to, it's gone up about 200, and that's pretty much the best performing Lost Origin. So Lost Origin is the best performing Sword and Shield era box besides Evolving Skies. So that's kind of interesting to me that over the last year, none of these products have really gone up that much, even ones that people are talking about. So believe it or not, people are actually talking about Brilliant Stars. But when we jump into Brilliant Stars and have a look at the booster box, it's currently going for 600 US dollars. Over 5 years, great. Yes, it's gone up from 130 to 600. But over the course of the last 12 months, it's gone from 380, 380, 530 to 600. So, the last 10 months, it's gone up 10%, I guess a little bit more, slightly beyond that, but that's about it. So these products have gone up. I do think they are going to continue to go up. It's just not been the year of Sword and Shield that a lot of people were predicting. Do you think Sword and Shield will actually go up? I'm still pretty happy with my Sword and Shield investments. The pieces that I have, the booster boxes, they make a lot of sense to me, and I'm glad that I have them in my possession. I guess I'm not 100% convinced that it was the best use of my time or capital to be holding on to these ones, but I'm going to continue to hold on to them, not just because I'm in there now, but because I genuinely do like them. I like the concept of them. I don't think I've drunk on the Kool-Aid. I don't think it's just personal collection attachment. Some of them will probably remain in my personal collection, but most of them will eventually be moved on in a couple of years' time. I still think that this kind of product is good quality, and good quality product is in demand. Good quality product in demand plus time equals price up, most likely. But it's just not been the gravy train that a lot of us thought that it could be. And that's fine because it's still something that I like to collect and have in my collection. I don't think the negativity surrounding Sword and Shield is quite as bad as what some people online are saying that you should only invest in. Someone the other day said they'd rather invest in Paradox Rift than invest in most Sword and Shield products today. And I guess that's always tricky because you're not really comparing apples and apples, and what do they mean by today? But that's a little bit silly. So thank you for listening to me warble on and try and organize my thoughts about this era. I still think the state of Sword and Shield is strong. It's not as strong as it could be. If I had my time again, I'd still probably do what I did because I like the products that I have acquired. I would have definitely remained much heavier in like some of the Scarlet and Violet stuff, like Black Bolt. Like I should have just held on to Black Bolt. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed opening it. I probably should have realized that when I was enjoying opening the product, that means that other people would probably like to enjoy opening the product in the future and held on to it instead of opening it all and then selling the rest. I definitely am happy with my current setup, but I probably could have just held on to Destined Rivals and be living on a small Pokemon yacht right now.